What is up, YouTube, and welcome to this triple topic video. So I've decided to do a lot more of the combination videos here because it means I can discuss quite a lot more in depth, or kind of not even in depth, but more topics to cover on the channel. So we'll be having a Supergirl review. We will also be having a breakdown of the Crisis on Earth X teaser that aired last night. As well as that, we're also going to be talking about the casting for Legends of Tomorrow Big Bad Malice. So first of all, Supergirl Season 3 Episode 5. This was a Kevin Smith directed episode, and Kevin Smith, you know what, I am a huge fan of Kevin Smith. He is the reason why I like all of this stuff, to be honest. I kind of watched Mallus and was like, hey, it's cool to, you know, like all this stuff. And then, yeah, I grew up on it. Maybe it actually wasn't. But Kevin Smith films, to me, looked the epitome of cool. Especially Mallrats. And later on, you had Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, which is, well, still is absolutely hilarious. So if you haven't seen that, I'd highly recommend going checking it out. And I really was hoping that Black Lightning or something like it would be kind of series ran by Kevin Smith, but, well, that hasn't turned out to be. And I do want him to do an Arrow and a Flash episode as well. But this episode, for me, was just a bit of a letdown. It was just dull. It seemed like just filler and just plodding along of the interpersonal storylines that we've had so far. We did have Morgan Edge return, and this actor who played Morgan Edge seems to play the same bad guy in every single show, but he's very good at it. And here he's playing on the fears of the lead bomb, and it is all to get back, really, not even just at Lena, but at Supergirl, it seems like. To me, it seems like he is just wants to get through to Supergirl as opposed to, well, the person who gazumped him and took Catco Media from under him. But that's really it. That part was the most interesting part of this episode. We did have the Sanvers storyline is now come to an end, all because, you know, one of them didn't want to have children, which, you know, is quite of a big thing. Maybe you should discuss that before you decide to get married or decide to actually become engaged. Who knows? But that storyline sadly has now ended, and really there doesn't seem to be that many romance storylines going forward in Supergirl, which I think is a good thing. I want to focus on Supergirl. Last week's episode I absolutely adored. We had the Cult of Rao, where we really did focus on Supergirl as Kara and as, you know, Supergirl. But this episode, we really didn't, we focused on other people. But, yeah, we focused on Lena and the kind of smear campaign against her and everything like that. And, yeah, I like Lena Luthor, but this episode just felt really boring and flat. And maybe it was because we didn't have much action, there wasn't really much of anything. But we did actually have the kind of National City Girls Club as well meet up again like we did last episode, and it's really cool to have this sort of dynamic. I think that's pretty cool. It works really well. And obviously this is going to lead into big dramas when Samantha turns into rain and, you know, fights poor old Supergirl. But we got the Legion of Superheroes coming in as well, and Brainiac 5 has been cast. So I'll go into that in more depth in a video on my channel as well, so you can go and check that out. But Brainiac 5, it was going to debut in the Season 3 Episode 10. It will be entitled Legion of Superheroes. So yeah, you can kind of guess that we're getting the Legion of Superheroes fully there, and I do predict that they are in that pod underwater, but that is in the future. And now it just feels really dull. They seem to be just building up towards have like fluff pieces, and then we have bits where Samantha actually had the bullet. She was shot and nothing actually happened whatsoever. And it's quite funny that nothing happened to her daughter as well, despite all this lead business. So yeah, quite another sign there that, well, she is a Kryptonian. And she mentions that she was adopted as well, just like Kara. So, and they both have nightmares. So it seems like they're building up towards this now. It seems that the two are going to seem like they have a lot more in common than they actually realise and never actually realised. So that's where they're moving with this. But the episode, again, just felt flat. The storyline with Lena was a bit dull. The lead poisoning was like, oh, what? This is just a B plot line that's been taken up the A story. So, yeah, I don't get why they've already done that, but you did have a high-profile thing with Sandva's ending, which, yeah, I bet a hell of a lot of you people were really, really upset that Sandva's is over. And I was as well, but maybe Maggie, the actress, can move on to better things, I guess, and actually be the focus of the show. But her return is always welcomed back, so that's pretty cool there that she can actually come back at some point. I expect that she will down the line. But the evil Lena, wow, that was cool. I absolutely loved that kind of Lena being a Luthor going up against Morgan Edge, but she gets hit in the head with a gun. What the hell is that about? You'd think that she would, kind of realise that she's going to get hit in the head, or maybe actually, use a taser gun or something like that on Morgan Edge. But I like that kind of Lena. That's really, really good acting there. Really, really good direction. She really did look like a proper Luthor there. It did kind of remind me just a tad of when Lex Luthor's sister Lena shoots him in the Darkseid War, which I just actually finished reading again. I felt like I needed to read it with everything going up with DC Metal and everything like that. But it was a really good moment, and I really do want to see more of that. I want to see more of this kind of Lena Luthor being bad but good, so doing things by questionable methods, but still being on the right side of the law, to be honest, or being on the right side of being good, if that makes sense. So she's sort of a vigilante, but she's going around things not really in the way that Kara would like, which leads to a fallout quite similar to maybe in Smallville as well. So yeah, what do you guys think? Did you enjoy this episode? I thought it was a bit kind of very much filler, which is a shame because, well, The Flash last week and this week upcoming are two massive episodes. We've got a crossover with Arrow, and we had Ralph Dibny, the Elongated Man, last week, along with Breacher. So yeah, quite big things. We've got Arrow doing big things as well, and Supergirl is just kind of slowly building up that mystery about Reign, and it's going to pop up later on. And to be honest, they are following quite similarly to Flash and Arrow storylines, where they reveal the big enemy at the end or in the mid-season finale. So yeah, I think that's what they're doing here, which it can work. It could work, I think. It's not by any means a bad season. It's just, a bit dull. Very much like The Walking Dead at the moment, which is absolutely freaking terrible. It's just nothing. It's just nothing, which is, again, really possibly worse than it being bad, because it's just, nothing to write home about, which is what this episode really is. Now, that's it for this. Drop your comments below. I want to hear what you think on this episode. Please do drop a like if you enjoyed my review of that. And next up, we have got Malice. Now, Malice is the villain of Legends of Tomorrow. He is the person or the being that is reviving everyone in the show. He's obviously revived Kawasa. He will be reviving Damien Dark. We've also got Constantine in tonight's episode, which is going to be damn amazing. I'm excited to see Matt Ryan here as Constantine on the show, because, he's always good. He is always good as that character. But John Noble, who was obviously most notably to me in Fringe, he was in Lord of the Rings, he is going to be Malice here moving forward. He will be the big bad, and we'll learn more about that in episode 5, which I believe is tonight's episode. So we'll learn more about this character. So that's quite a big thing, that we've got such a huge character actor here in this role. So I'm looking forward to that. So it's quite big here that he can seemingly resurrect anyone that he actually wants. So we'll have to see who will actually revive him as well. And Entertainment Weekly made a good point, the fact that he could actually be voicing the character as opposed to playing the character. So there could be a twist going forward as well. But next up, we have got the trailer for the upcoming Crisis on Earth X. So let's check that out now.
We fight to protect the people that we love.
Crisis on Earth X. Crossover event starts Monday, November 27th.
So that was just a really 11-second teaser, but boy, does it look good. It really does. It looks like, obviously, we've got the group here, which obviously is the big team here. We've got the 3 here. We've got Green Arrow, Flash, and Supergirl, flanked by the White Canary and Alex as well. So it looks like we hear it. I would say that looks a lot like Star Labs, or it could be the underpart of the DEO, but more likely it probably will be Star Labs, as Star Labs is home to, well, the science part here of the DC, or the Arrowverse at least. So at the start we actually get a flash of our stormtroopers here, which, if you don't know what Earth X is, so this is obviously going to be an incursion from Earth X. And Earth X is the terrible universe where the Nazis actually took over and succeeded in their war against, well, you know, everyone. All of good lost, basically. And the Freedom Fighters were the kind of super team of this Earth. And, well, it seems like they're having probably a hard time. And it's going to be curious to see where this actually works out, because Supergirl is actually the first of the shows to kick off this crossover, just like last year. But Supergirl will be involved a lot more. And obviously we have got Overgirl, who will be her evil counterpart. We've got the Flash with his Reverse Flash as well, which looks like to be the kind of Harrison Wells version. And obviously good old Green Arrow Oliver Queen will not only have to contend with Prometheus, but he will have to contend with the evil Nazi version of himself. So each of these characters will have their own Nazi versions that will be taking them on. So it's going to be curious to see where this kicks off. Will we see Earth X actually invade our Supergirl Earth and then her have to call out for help? I think that will probably be what will happen. I did kind of expect them to actually invade the wedding first, but we'll probably see Overgirl first here, which is the evil version of Supergirl. And interestingly, we see here a shot of a leg, which I'm not sure who that is actually going to be, because it seems like a lot of soldiers are actually being taken on. That could be, obviously, it could be Sarah Lance, maybe, but what I'm hoping for is some sort of maybe a look into Earth X. But you can see here it looks very much like a wedding, so I expect that this is going to be the much fabled wedding that we're going to get in the Flash episode, and that's going to get invaded by all these Earth X nasty individuals as well. So I think that's where this is going to go. But we also see what could be the evil version of good old Oliver Queen, but it could also be Prometheus as well. Again, a clearer shot of the wedding here. So there's not really much to go off here, I'm afraid. There's not too much looking out into this trailer. It's just really literally a teaser. But we do see what it looks like maybe a very cool homage in the logo to Crisis on Infinite Earths, which is quite similar to, I expect they might be kind of going on with this Crisis, and I love the fact that they're doing a Crisis in some way, shape or form in the Arrowverse. And of course we will see 2 weddings and maybe a death as well, which I am predicting to be Martin Stein, because Victor Garber is actually leaving the show. And what would be pretty awesome is if good old Wally West moves over to the Legends and fills that spot of Martin Stein. But then where would Jax go? Yeah, it's a bit iffy there, but I would like to see good old Wally West go over to Legends. But let me know what you think in the comments of this trailer. Do you think it looks good? Are you excited? I'm probably going to expect a full-length trailer at least tonight or tomorrow, or maybe at the weekend, or maybe the end of this week's shows. So please do drop a like, please do subscribe, and I'll see you soon, and goodbye.